Hey guys, Scotty Z. I'm going to make this video and just tell you what I reckon is going on and what I think is going to happen next. I have people asking me. I just had somebody ask me then in my Telegram channel. If you're seeing this on another social media platform, I'd encourage you to join Telegram. The link is in the description. If you're in Telegram already, g'day. So someone just asked me, what do I think is going to happen? This is what I reckon is going to happen. She's going to get crazy. She's going to get crazy. I had a lady the other day say, oh, it's whatever you focus on is what's going to happen. I'm like, yeah, but I'm a realist as well. And I look at what's going on in the world. And I do believe in positive thinking. I'm a very positive person. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm living the life that I believe is the best life for me and my family. But this is what I reckon is going to happen. There are food shortages already. In Sri Lanka, the people there do not have food. I don't know if you've seen what's going on in Sri Lanka, but they are financially bankrupt, very corrupt government. And the people are on the streets. They don't have enough food. There are going to be food shortages in the developing nations this year. Absolutely, this year. That's what's being said. And I can see that it's going to happen. India has already stopped exporting wheat. They're not India. India. Have you ever been to India? Have a look at the size of India. Right? Second largest population in the world. They're going, we potentially will not have enough food to feed our own people, and therefore we are not going to export wheat, even though that brings us income. Number one is we need to feed our people. India has stopped exports of wheat. Indonesia, I believe they are the number one or two largest producers of palm oil in the world. It's Malaysia or Indonesia, right? Palm oil is used in so much manufacturing of food, not only in the food, but the cooking of the food, in producing food. Palm oil is massive. Indonesia has stopped exporting palm oil. Ukraine, they call the bread basket of the world. Ukraine won't even have enough wheat, bread basket, wheat, won't even have enough wheat to feed its people, let alone feed the world. Russia has been sanctioned like nobody's business, right? You've probably seen it. If you haven't, have a look at how big the sanctions are on Russia. And now Russia's saying, well, you know, if you're sanctioning all of this, why are we going to keep sending all of our stuff? You only want, we can't sell what we want to sell, but you only want what you want. It's not really going to work for us, right? We're going to take care of our people. We're going to look after our people. That's obviously what you're trying to do, is hurt our people with your sanctions, which is what they're doing. They're trying to hurt the Russian people so that they, what's Biden saying? So they overthrow Putin or whatever it is. They're trying to hurt the Russian people. And so the Russians are going to be like, well, fuck you. You know, you want to hurt our people, we're going to take care of our people. So fertilizer, Russia is the largest exporter of urea, which is the number one fertilizer. Brazil is saying, we won't have enough fertilizer to produce food. If you have a look at the size of Brazil, like the size of India, Brazil is a massive global exporter of food. They don't have enough fertilizer from Russia to grow the food. You put one and one together and you get three, right? Probably gave more examples. Sorry, I'm eating a little like coconut thing that my wife got me and it's in my teeth. Anyway, there's not going to be enough food. There is not going to be enough food, okay? Developing nations this year will suffer like Sri Lanka is suffering. But how long is that going to take until it gets to the more wealthy countries that can pay a higher price to import that food? Because supply and demand. You don't have enough supply, but you have the demand, the price is going to go up. The developing nations can't afford on the open market to beat the developed nations for food, so they're going to run out of food first, right? And the more wealthy countries, probably where you're sitting right now, not me, I'm sitting in one of the, I guess Russia is on the cusp of developed and developing. I don't know how you'd call it, but we're going to be good here. We got food here, no problems. We got some other issues, but we've got food. But the developed countries next year, depending on how this whole thing plays out, you guys have got to be thinking about where your food's coming from. The second thing there is energy, right? What about energy? So Russia is turning off the gas to, well, not turning off the gas. Some places they've turned off the gas because they've refused to pay them in rubles. Everyone's like, oh, Putin's weaponizing energy. It's like, hang on a second. You stole half of his reserves. All of the foreign currency reserves, US and Euro predominantly, half of them, $300 billion, when this started, you crazy people froze his assets, and now you're liquidating his assets, right? His, meaning Russia's, but he's the head of Russia, right? That money came from Russia, selling energy predominantly to those countries paying in their money, again, mostly US dollars, and then them saying, well, we're just going to keep that money. And Putin's like, well, hang on a second. We sold you that energy. You paid us. We kept that money that you gave us in bank accounts, our accounts, but your banks in the country that you paid us. And now you took that money. So why would we keep selling you gas and oil and crude and whatever else we're selling you? Why would we be selling you energy and taking your money if you're just going to steal it again? Oh, he's weaponizing energy. No, he's not. He's not weaponizing energy. He's saying, I'm not an idiot. You stole my money already. I'm not going to play the fool and keep selling you in the same currency that you can steal it. I'm going to take care of my family. You need to pay me in a currency that I control, the ruble. And yes, by the way, you just tanked our economy. You just dropped the ruble by 50%, 50%. And now it's higher than it's ever been in the last, well, not ever been, but it's higher now than I think it's 7 years. It's a 7-year high. I think that's how it's said. It's a 7-year high. The ruble is a 7-year high. In the middle of a war, it's a special military operation. But anyway, in the middle of a war, the ruble is stronger than ever. Well done, wankers. You guys are fighting the wrong fight here. This is the policymakers who are in the West who are trying to do this, right? So all of a sudden, Putin's not weaponizing. If you follow my lead there, he's not weaponizing energy. What he's saying is, I'm not going to play the fool. I'm not going to have you steal my money again. You can pay me in my currency and I can take care of my family. Thank you very much. Any sane person would do that, okay? He's weaponizing food. Is he? How about take all of the sanctions that you're trying to hurt the Russian people with off our back? And I'll put myself in the class here because I eat Russian food. I am in the Russian economy, right? How about you stop trying to hurt our people? And I don't exactly know the whole weaponizing food thing. What is, someone maybe I need to do some more research on that, but he's not sending food, or he is sending food, or people aren't buying the food from Russia, or they're not buying the fertilizer. I doubt very much they're going to sanction the fertilizer, right? They'd have to be crazy to sanction the fertilizer. But again, Russia needs to take care of Russia. Russia's going to take care of their own first and foremost, as Australia would take care of theirs, America would take care of theirs. That's how nation states work, okay? Oh, but we should all be thinking about everyone. Yeah, we should when everyone thinks about everyone, right? It's really easy to go and be the martyr when you're the one giving up everything and no one else is giving up anything. And that's not going to happen. Not for a little while. Anyway, back to the focus of the story. Energy is going to be a big deal. So food, developing nations already, developed nations look out next year, the year after. Energy, right? There's already energy shortages in Europe. If you live in Europe and you're watching this, in America, look at the fuel prices in America and Australia and Europe. I hope you know that in Russia, nothing's changed. The fuel prices are exactly the same. They're very inexpensive, even compared to the economy. Nobody here is suffering from any fuel shortages, whether it's for heating or for transportation. But that's not the same. There's only 3 months in, guys. You give it a year and you see the impact on global energy supply. Okay, with all of these sanctions, you see the impact. And again, if you're in Europe, the EU or UK, ex-EU, right? If you're in Europe or Canada or America or Australia, which is probably most of you guys are listening to this, your energy prices are going to get high. And don't think, oh, it's going to cost me more to fill up my fuel tank. Think about the transport of food. Think about the running of infrastructure. Trains, planes, buses, hospitals, governments, schools, buildings, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And if the energy prices are constantly increasing, money's got to come from somewhere, and it's going to come from your pocket. They're not going to increase the salary at the same rate as they're going to increase the energy prices. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer at every, it's like GST. It's written into, like taxation, not even GST, taxation. It's written into everything and you don't even know it's there, right? These energy increases, these prices of energy. Now I'm using energy, not just fuel, because it's all energy. They're going to keep increasing in everything that you see. So your dollar is not going to go as far. It's going to be harder economically for you there. But the biggest thing you're going to have to worry about is those energy on the food supply. Right? Not only do you have the food shortages with the breadbasket of Ukraine and Russia and the fertilizer drama that they're having, and places like India now not exporting wheat, but you're also going to have food shortages due to energy supplies and a limited supply of energy. Again, if you're in Europe right now, they're already prepping their people saying, guys, be ready. We're going to look at rationing energy. Okay, so The next couple of years are going to be very, very fascinating, very, very fascinating. But I look at survival. What do you need? You need food and you need energy, right? Food is just a type of energy, but you need energy to run life. Like all of this runs on some form of energy, not just your physical home, but the world that you live in runs on energy. And we haven't quite got Tesla free energy technology yet, yeah. So we got to be taking it from the ground, or having some, Oh, what about solar? Yeah, where did the solar panels come from? They came from the ground, all right. They dug them up out of the ground and they made the solar panels. Don't think that it's like just miraculously coming from the sun. So anyway, that's what's going to happen in the next couple of years, I bet. And it's because I do a lot of research on this, and I spend a lot of my day researching and learning and watching videos and trying to figure out the next move and what's going to happen. So now what can you do about it? Get the hell out of the West. Get out of Australia. Get out of, and I say get out of Australia because Australia is my home and I love my home, but it's a penal colony. It is a land, what is it called? It's an island, effectively, right? It's an island. It's a small island with, you can imagine, a big naval force around the outside of it and way too many police and army people that are highly armed for the small population who had all their guns taken away. Australia is a death trap. Australia is in a lot of trouble in the next few years. They will squeeze Australia, and New Zealand is the same. Australia and New Zealand is the same. They'll squeeze you, and you don't want to hear this, and you're like, fuck you, Scotty. And I get that. And I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm trying to tell the people that are willing to do something about it that, and this is one possible hypothesis. I'm just a guy doing my thing, living my life, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. You might call me bullshit right now in the comments, and probably already have several times. That's fine. But for those that are willing to listen and want to hear what I have to say, I'm sharing this for you. Get the fuck out of Australia and New Zealand. Go somewhere else. I got friends in Mexico. Mexico seems to be a good place. There's other people down in South America trying to get out. Russia to me is the promised land, and I'm so grateful that I've been guided to meet the woman of my dreams. Happened to be Russian, could have been anyone. I don't mind. I've been with women from many different nationalities. I like different cultures. I really do. I'm now learning my second language, speak 4 languages. Like, I love culture, I love people, but I happen to meet a Russian. Here I am in Russia. Fantastic. I believe Russia is the best place to be because we have food, we have energy, and we have land. Lots of land. I was just chatting with a friend and I said, look, if all hell breaks loose and Biden and these other crazy people, it's mostly Biden leading the ship, right? But if the West decides to really take Russia in Russia's land, which they would be idiots to try and fight Putin. Man, I wouldn't fight Putin at nearly 70 years old hand to hand, let alone militarily. Like, the guy he's a killer. That's what Biden said. He's a killer. Yeah, he's a killer, meaning this dude he's a champion. He's an 8th Dan black belt judo master, right? The guy he's a killer. He's been training martial art his whole life. He's got the mind of a strategist. In 20 years, he's lifted Russia out of poverty, out of bankruptcy after the collapse of the USSR. In 20 years, and now we are a prosperous nation. And I say I'm proud to be here. I'm loving being here. It's the greatest thing that's happened to me. Well, my wife and my son is the greatest thing that's ever, but being alive is the greatest thing ever, whatever. But Putin, you don't mess with Putin. You don't fight Putin. You don't fucking fight Putin. So I think they're never going to attack. But if they did, I'm putting my family in a car and I'm driving 2 days that way into the Altai Mountains, which is above Mongolia, and I'm disappearing, right? Oh, it's cold out there. Get a jumper, mate. Put a wood fire stove and keep warm. Who cares? Survive, right? I'm driving and I'm disappearing. That's what I'm doing. That's my plan. But right now, I'm building a home in an established eco-village with 200 established families, 100 more in summer, all growing food, all on a hectare of land, 2.5, 3 acres each, supporting each other, helping each other. I've got a wood-fired heating system going in, not only a stove in the middle of the house, but the whole heating system is wood-fired. I'm on the edge of the forest. We have water, lots and lots of water. So I've got everything that I need, right? That's my focus. Hunker down, grow food, support my family, take care of my family, and then help those people that are around me, help those people that are with me. That's what I'm doing. And I'm in a country that I believe we definitely have food. There's no problem about food here. And we definitely have energy. There's no problem about energy here. And they're the 2 greatest threats, other than military threat, that the world is facing right now. Government, lockdowns and tyranny and stuff is a massive threat too, for sure. But in terms of actual survival, that can be survival as well. Food and energy is where it's at, and I feel very safe here. So anyway, that's what I reckon's going on. I'll leave it at that. I hope that this helps some people. Again, call bullshit on what I'm saying right now. I don't really care. I've got a thick enough skin. You can agree or disagree. It's up to you. But if I was in the West, which obviously I was a year ago, I left in a hurry because I saw it was only going to get worse. Look at what's happened in 2 years. What do you think is going to happen in the next 2 years? These people aren't quitting. They're not stopping in their global takeover. They are not going to stop. It's going to get harder and harder, and they control the West. The West is gone. The West is done. It is controlled, right? And maybe Russia too. Maybe I left the frying pan and I'm in the fire, right? But it's just taking a while to burn. Who knows? Who knows where is safe? But from what I can see geopolitically, here is the safest place for me to be. My friends in Mexico, they swear by Mexico. I've got another friend. We just got tickets on the weekend. He's going to Mexico. Hey, Oscar, right? Getting out of here because he's Mexican. So he's taking his family back. But his plan is to, in 2 years, after they've got the passport for the wife, is to come back to Russia, right? Get the passport in both of these countries. But I would say, guys, make a decision of what you want for yourself and look at what's happened in 2 years. And this is a J curve. This is increasing. Like the rate of control, the rate of the economic collapse that's coming, the food shortages, the energy shortages. We didn't really talk about the economic collapse, but there's absolutely going to be a massive economic collapse, which is already taking place. You can't print that much money in the last 2 years and expect it's all going to be okay. Like, it's going to happen. There's going to be an economic collapse. These three things are going to devastate people. But you've still got some time. Like, if you're looking at it saying, okay, what do I need to do? Get out of the center. If you have to stay in Australia and New Zealand, get out of the city. Go into the forest. Right now, the economy is still making money. Make money. If you're making a little bit of money, find out how to make more money fast, right? Be inventive, be entrepreneurial, do more hours. Don't sacrifice your health. Of course, you need your health, but do what you can now. Make hay while the sun shines. The sun is still shining on all of these economies. The sun is still shining. Make hay while the sun shines. Get out of the city. Go into the forest, get some land, build a house, off-grid, sustainable, in community if possible, and help each other, right? That's the number one. But right now, like if you can, start preparing for this 2 years' time where it may be very difficult, especially it'll start in the city centers and it'll spread out from there. So get out of the city centers. And but right now the economy is moving. Like I 2 years ago when this started, I stopped my economic activities and I had money in the bank and I invested it into Permacare, which was that local movement on the Gold Coast, for those that were with me, to bring families together and grow food. We got 10 acres of land and I leased it for 20 years. We put up a big wedding marquee and we started running empowerment events, and we had a community garden. We were running workshops and bringing families together and building community. But I realized very quickly that the government didn't want that. The council smashed me. And people didn't want that. People weren't ready for that. I knew what was coming, but most people didn't know what was coming. And they didn't want to entertain the idea of what was coming. Now more people are thinking of these ways. But what my mistake was is I was too early to stop my economic activities, and that slowed me down. I invested like $100K that year from my own money, one, to feed my own family because I wasn't making money, and two, to set up the infrastructure and everything that we needed there. So I effectively lost $100,000 of my own money and the income potential, for that year. So I probably lost like $500,000 that year based on what I earn in a year because I was too far ahead of the curve trying to help other people. You know what I mean? Like I played it wrong. Whereas the focus now needs to be make hay while the sun shines. We've still got an economy that's moving, but start to put that money towards a sustainable homestead in community, hopefully somewhere definitely out of the urban centers, but hopefully out of the countries that are going to be massively smashed, which is going to be a lot of the European countries. I think America will have pockets, because America's so big with such a great population, pockets of resistance, of strength. Canada as well, of strength. Maybe I don't know about Australia. Maybe there will be pockets of resistance. Let's hope, of people standing strong together. But I see the strength of the Australian control mechanism. I just see it. And I see the Australian people are so brainwashed into believing what they're being told on the media that I just don't know if Australia's going to get through. New Zealand, the same, you know. And I've been to New Zealand. I lived in New Zealand, lived in Canada, not for a long time, but long enough to know. And yeah, I don't see it. I don't see people really doing really well there. So I'd get out. But if you have to stay in Australia, I've got family there, whatever, great, take your family with you. But if you have to stay in Australia, get out of the urban centres and go and set up. Make money now, invest it into infrastructure, grow food, get an off-grid cabin or house or whatever you need, and live, okay? Live. I love you. This is too long. I'm sorry, I rambled too long. I love you. I hope it helps. For all the haters out there, I love you too. It's all good, man. I love you. It's all good. And for everyone who gets it and sees what is going on right now, I love you just as much. And we're doing this thing. We're getting through this. We are surviving and thriving the best that we can. And I love you so much. Okay, cheers. Remember, this is all part of the awakening. It's all part of the awakening. Trust the flow, surrender to the divine, trust the flow. It's all part of the awakening. You don't get muscles like this without lifting heavy weights. You don't become spiritually stronger or opening to that spiritual divine unless you go through some hard times. Welcome to the hard times. They are here. Be smart about what you're doing, about what is coming, and prepare now. Make hay where the sun shines. Love you so much. Scotty Z, signing out. Bye.